Yankees go for 11 in a row against the Braves tonight. Lineup looks a lot like it did last night. DJ LeMahieu leading off at second base tonight. Anthony Rizzo looking to get going once again. He is over there at first base. Aaron Judge made a really nice running catch out there in center field last night. He's out there in center once again, batting third. Joey Gallo also showing off the leather yesterday. Made an excellent running catch that changed the momentum in the game. He is in left field. Giancarlo Stanton coming off a huge night with 3 ribbies and a home run. He is back out there in right field once again. Gary Sanchez picked up a big 2 RBI single last night. He is behind the dish. Rougned Odor is once again your third baseman this evening. And Andrew Velasquez is your shortstop once again. And on the mound, Andrew Heaney making his 4th start with the Yankees. He is 8-8 on the season with a 5.51 ERA. I'm a little bit worried about him against this Atlanta lineup, but let's see how it works out. Welcome to NYY Recaps, where passionate fans like you react to the game that just went down. I'm Derek. I'll be your host for this episode. We'll begin with a quick recap of the action on the field and some main takeaways from the game, and that will be followed by your commentary on the game. So stick around, we're about to get started, but first, a quick 60 seconds from the sponsor of today's fan reaction. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped, makers of the Lawnmower 4.0 and the Performance Package. A lot of people ask me, how can they support the podcast? And one way that you can do it is by supporting my sponsor, Manscaped. The Lawnmower 4.0. This thing is an amazing little tool. It's got the skin-safe blade. It prevents nicks, tugs, all that uncomfortable stuff. It's got this LED spotlight in case you decide to trim your beanbag during the middle of a blackout. It's waterproof, so you can take it in the shower. And look at this box. This is an amazing box. Nothing shitty has ever come in a box this nice. Wireless, it's rechargeable, it's quiet, and you can save 20% and get free shipping by visiting manscaped.com and using the code NYYRecaps at checkout. That's 20% off and free shipping using the code NYYRecaps. Your balls will thank you. Oh, my clogged arteries did not enjoy that one, but the Yankees hang on to get it done. We got a quick super chat to get things started off. Stone Cold wants Chapman to be out of the closer role. I can't say that you're wrong. It's a heart attack a minute with that guy this year. Let's go through just the quick recap. Yankees are now 21-4 since the biggest acquisition of the trade deadline, Carl the Mannequin. Let's hear it for Carl the Mannequin. 11 consecutive wins for the Yankees, the longest streak for them since 1985. If the Yankees win 2 more, they will tie Oakland for the longest streak this year, 13 games. I predicted 11 when they were at 8 wins last week on the 643 DP podcast. I want them to get to 16. That's like my personal goal, because that would make up for that 5-11 start, that horrible start in April. That would negate that. Amazing what a few lefties can do, even though our lefties are 0 for their last 39. It does balance out the lineup. You got to pitch to some of the other guys. Pitching has been pretty solid. Would be nice if the Rays would lose once in a while. They picked up another win tonight. Braves got 2 in the first off of Heaney, former number 1 draft pick Dansby Swanson with the big double. Stanton goes deep again in the second, an absolute laser beam, his 22nd of the year. Both pitchers settled down at that point. Top of the 4th, Judge doubles down the right field line. Nice piece of hitting. He advances to third, and then Gary Sanchez drives him in with a beautiful piece of hitting to beat the shift. That made it 2-2. Andrew Heaney was okay tonight. He struggled early, but then he settled in. He came out after 4 innings, just 2 runs allowed. He kept the team in the game. That's pretty much all you can ask of from a guy like, with a 5+ ERA. But I will say I'm impressed by his stick-to-itiveness. There have been multiple times this season where he's gotten hit early, his second start, he gave up a couple of home runs early, settled in, and ended up going 6 innings, I believe. And then against the Red Sox, gives up that home run to Bogarts early in the game, ends up throwing 7 innings. Tonight, gives up 2 runs in the first, but then settles down. I believe he retired 7 or 8 in a row at one point. You have to have brass balls to sell real estate. Glenn Ross referencing the brass balls on Andrew Haney to stick in it. DJ opens up with a bit of he opens the lead up a bit with a 2-run home run in the top of the 5th on a hanging curveball from Uncle Charlie Morton. You know what they say? You live by the curveball, you die by the hanging curveball. That was the case tonight with Morton. Gave up some home runs. Braves get one back on a 2-out single in the bottom of the 5th. Odor absolutely demolished his 15th home run of the year. That made it 5-3. It was a bomb. It landed in the Chop House restaurant behind the right field stands. They said 414 feet on StatCast, but I do not buy it. Felt more like 450 to me. Yankees bullpen was mostly fantastic tonight until you got to Chapman. Abreu gave up a run, but Joely Rodriguez, Clay Holmes back, and Chad Green all worked scoreless outings. 2 scoreless innings from Chad Green. Chapman came in with a chance to get his 300th save and preserve the 11-game win streak, but he choked. He didn't have a pitch to go to. He couldn't throw strikes. He seemed out of sorts. They had Odor still in there at third base, and he took forever to get rid of a ball. I thought they should have had Tyler Wade in the game for defense at that point. Tyler Wade did not appear in this game, so you got to wonder if he's healthy or whatever. But I would have rather seen him at third base in that scenario because he's a natural. I wouldn't say he's a natural third baseman, but he's a much more natural third baseman than Odor, and I think he has a better arm. But Wandy Peralta comes in and talk about brass balls, gets the fly out to left field. Yankees win their 11th straight. Nice play by Joey Gallo out there in left field. Once from John Sterling.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
All right, we do have a belt winner. The voices of the people have spoken. Belt winner. Wandy Peralta gets just, 1 out and gets the belt, but it was the biggest out of the win streak so far, in my opinion. He came in with the bases jacked, and he immediately had to face Freddie Freeman, MVP, great hitter, very selective hitter, and they had a nice battle. But ultimately, Freeman goes to left field, and Gallo was able to track it down. Puerto Rican veteran says, this just feels different than earlier. Puerto Rico. Oh. Appreciate that. We're breaking out the brooms in the chat. Siciliano NYY says, we need a solid closer. Yeah, I think you're probably looking at Jonathan Loaizaga closing out key games. The Yankees took a big hit today. Zach Britton is out with an elbow injury. Sounds like he may have surgery and may miss the rest of the year. And that puts a lot of pressure on Chapman. And it causes other guys in that bullpen to have to get bigger outs. But the good news is you do have Luis Severino coming back. You've got Domingo Germán possibly coming back. Those guys could supplement the bullpen going forward. Justin Ginsburg says, let's make it 15 in Oakland. That would be beautiful. Giant Opinion Sports says the umpire tonight was horrible, but he was horrible for both teams, so I'll give him that. Raymond's World says that was an amazing game. It was definitely, that felt like a World Series game, did it not? My heart was pumping. When Chapman was pitching and the bases were loaded, I went downstairs like for no other reason other than just to leave this room. And I figured watching the game on another TV for a minute would help. It didn't, so I turned it off and I came back upstairs. But I just couldn't be in this room, and I just needed to change the energy a little bit. And I only do stuff like that in the playoffs. So it was just an intense matchup. My arteries can't take much more of those. The Earl of Demise. I won't make the mistake of forgetting his custom dono tonight. Feared by man and fiend alike. It's the Earl of Demise. Says, get Chapman out of here. Super inconsistent. Always a heart attack when he's in the game. It's too late. I mean, you gotta ride this horse till she bucks you. This season, the Yankees have had a lot of blown saves late in the game, and Chapman has been a big part of that. The Angels game was one that sticks out. I think he had one against Boston. I know Loizaga, I think, had one against Boston. But anyway, Chapman is up and down. He needs to get more confidence in his fastball. I mean, the guy throws 100+ miles an hour, and it's like he's trying to nibble with it. Either that or just the act of throwing so hard makes it hard to control. But Army Joe says, Chap did not celebrate with the team at the end of the game. Thank you for the dono, by the way. Yeah, I mean, I have an issue with that. I have an issue. I mean, I'm sure he was upset. He probably went into the clubhouse. He was probably, tearing the clubhouse up. But you got to be out there with your teammates. There's an unwritten rule in baseball that if you put men on base and you're the pitcher, you're supposed to sit on the bench and watch until those runners come off the bases. You have to watch the runners that you're responsible for. That's why you'll see starting pitchers who come out of the game with men on base sit there at the top step and just kind of watch, and then they'll go into the clubhouse and shower and all that stuff. I feel like it applies to relief pitchers as well. When they come in and they put men on base and you come out, you need to sit there and watch it. And if you win and your team wins 11 in a row, you need to be on the field celebrating with your team. So that's a good comment. Appreciate that. Puerto Rican Veteran says, if we win in Oakland, we will be sitting pretty with the rest of the schedule being fairly soft. I appreciate the dono once again. Puerto Rico. Oh. Yeah, I don't want to feel like the Yankees have a soft schedule because we've seen them lose to some bad teams already this year. The Yankees need to treat every game going forward like a must-win. They really do. Let me end this poll here now that we've awarded the belt. The Yankees are still within striking distance of the division. If Tampa Bay would ever lose, which they won't, they just keep winning. It's unbelievable. And I don't care what anybody says about the White Sox or the Red Sox or the A's. Best two teams in the American League, and the Astros, best two teams in the American League, in my opinion, Rays and the Yankees right now. Yankees are playing unconscious, and the Rays have been just finding a way to win. They're those card counters at the blackjack table that just keep finding a way to beat the house. Yankees need to go in and use the good old-fashioned bludgeon ball when they get down there at the end of September. Win 3 straight games by 10 runs. Send a message. That would be fantastic. Let's see here. Ronnie with the Super Donut says, game was nerve-wracking, like that Twins game from 2019 where Hicks made the great catch to end it. 1-out save by Bobby Abreu tonight. Oh, yeah, so he says that Wandy Peralta looks like Bobby Abreu. By the way, Ronnie with the Super Dono. Ronnie, the Dono legend. He does kind of look like Bobby Abreu, now that you mention it. But, hey, he gets outs. That game against the Twins a couple years ago was absolutely phenomenal. That was one of the best regular season games I've ever seen. And that catch by Hicks to end it is probably the highlight of Hicks's career at this point, other than maybe the home run against Verlander in the postseason. But, hey, Sheenam says, hey, Derek, shout out would be great. It's my birthday. And it would make my day. I think I have a happy birthday thing here. Hang on just a second.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Sheenam, in the chat. So I appreciate that. Appreciate the support. Ashlyn says, that's going to be interesting. Rays always devour us. Actually, the Yankees have played okay against the Rays for a large portion of this season. Andy Batista says, it's time the Yankees get a dugout party like San Diego Padres with that big chain and the Torreyes show, the Toe Night show. And then you got the Red Sox doing like the laundry cart. Yeah, I don't know if they hit enough home runs to do that, to be honest. I would like to see it. I love all of those things. I remember the thumbs down. The thumbs down was super fun. Yeah, anything like that would be fun. Look into every relief appearance this dude throws. He sweats buckets. Yeah, Chapman, I think he dumps water on his head before he comes out, right? I think I've seen him a few times. He does the Sammy Sosa thing where he just kind of pours it on his head. But he also sweats a lot, which is, I mean, it can't be helpful. It drips in your eyes. It stings. It burns. Steven says, your channel's so big now, you can't read most of the comments anymore. It's going too fast. I mean, I could turn on slow mode, but it is kind of overwhelming how many people are in the comments now, over 800 people. Let's see. Black Swan says, this win was monumental. Oakland is scary, but we got this. I agree. I think we're going to go into Oakland. I think we're going to set the tone.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Ramon says, remember the jacket thing? Yeah, but the jacket thing didn't work out because the Yankees ended up losing in heartbreaking fashion in that final game against the Astros. So for those of you who don't know about the jacket thing, it dates back to when Altuve was saying, don't take off my shirt because, you know, I have tattoos, but he ultimately did not have any tattoos. We found out later on, any big ones anyway. And so when Judge hit a home run in Houston a couple of weeks ago, he was coming around third base and he makes like this motion like this. And then after the game, he said he was just cold, like he was shaking it off. You know, I was just cold. It was just chilly. I was telling my teammates to put on a jacket or whatever. But he was making fun of Altuve. He was starting something with Altuve. And then Altuve ends up ripping off his shirt at the end of a walk-off home run in that series. And there was no tattoo. And even though he used that as the excuse, Altuve was wearing a buzzer. 100%. That was one of the videos that got this channel started. And you can go back and watch it if you want. Altuve was absolutely 100% wearing a buzzer. 100%. Emmanuel says, pure anxious sweat. Yeah, I mean, he was definitely nervous. I think he portrays this tough demeanor because he's, you know, got the 100-mile-an-hour fastball, the Cuban Missile, but to me, he's a guy who wilts under pressure. It is what it is. He's lost it in the playoffs the last couple of years. Yankees cannot let Chapman beat them this year. Cannot. Ronnie with another super chat. Happy birthday shout out to my friend and diehard Maria Marroquin. She loves your show. Glad the Yankees won for her birthday. Maria follows me on Twitter. I've seen that name before. Appreciate that, Ronnie.
Ronnie, the Dono legend.
And let's get a happy birthday to Maria.
Happy birthday!
Broncos Nation says, when you have to pitch to Gary Sanchez, good things happen. That's something that I mentioned in a Yankees game day maybe like a week ago, was that, you know, now that we've got people back in the lineup, there's less and less landing spots. So you have to pitch to Gary Sanchez. And he's happy to just use the open parts of the field and pick up base hits right now. So, yeah, that's a great take. FKMRG says, well, just gives a super chat. No chat along with it, but I appreciate that. Ruben Cruz with another super says, love the winning. Hope Chapman gets it going, and I get a chance to use my favorite dono.
Cruise control.
Coltrane says, Chapman is painful to watch as of late. I'm sensing kind of a pattern here. I'm sensing that you guys are kind of overwatching Chapman. We got a lot of buzz going in the chat. People are buzzing on that Altuve situation. Aiden Clark says, Yankees need to go 26-10 from here on out to get to 100 wins. Do you see it happening? First of all, thank you for the dono. I'm going to use my other favorite dono hype. I need a drink of water. Well, they've just gone 11-0, and I just mentioned they are 21-4 in their last 25 games. So 26-10 against some tired pitchers, against some teams that are out of it, doesn't seem that irrational. It's possible. I could see it happening. But what are the Rays going to do? You know, the Yankees have got to play 4 games better than the Rays. That's all I'm really shooting for. Another dono from Mr. Puerto Rican veteran. You are the man. Let's see here. A couple more. We got a couple more super chats coming in. Eric C. says, we need the ump to check after any home run the Astros like they did with the pitchers for the foreign substance. Astros have a prior record. Hey, yeah, you're not wrong. I'm not sure how you check on that, but maybe Major League Baseball needs to put somebody in their dugout, in their clubhouse. You know? They've got a bad reputation for that. Yo Elvis says, I love Odor, but so happy Gio is back. Yeah, that's something I forgot to mention. Gio will be back in Oakland. And Yo Elvis gets his own super chat.
Yo, was that Elvis?
let's see here. FKMRG says, the historic game yesterday was his first MLB game, and it was a dream come true. That's awesome.
That is so cool.
That's an awesome. I mean, my first game was against the Indians at the old Yankee Stadium, and it was back in the early 90s. It must have been 1990, 1991, 92, something like that. It was October 2nd, I believe. It was the last game of the season. It was just, they lost that day. I remember we went to one where we lived about an hour and some change away from Yankee Stadium, plus traffic. And we went to a game, I think it was my second ever game, and we sat behind the left field foul pole. And there was a rain delay in the 7th inning. And the rain delay lasted so long that we got home just as the tarp was coming off the field. We were able to watch the end of the game on TV. It was interesting. They lost that game too. Darth Wacko says, Yanks need to win 20 games in a row now to catch the Rays. If you ask Patrick Hennessy, he says that the Yankees are going to win 20 games in a row. I still think that's exceedingly difficult. Like I said, 16 for me. If you win 16 in a row, I feel like that's an enormous accomplishment. And on the 17th day, if they lose, you're not going to see me come on here and play a losing sound. You're not going to see me, well, I might play a losing sound, but I'm not going to rant. I'll be like, hey, look, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. All right, guys, couple announcements real quick. With the team going to the West Coast, I will be doing an episode of the Frieze tomorrow on the off day to talk about the win streak. I'll be recording that in the morning. On Thursday, we'll just have the lineup and starting pitcher. No recap because the game ends at 2 in the morning, and I've got work the next day. I work a full-time job, so I can't be staying up till 2 in the morning to do YouTubing. But on Friday, we're going to do a special episode of Yankees Game Night. So it's going to be like Yankees Game Day, but with a few extra things added in, such as the lineup and starting pitcher and all that good stuff. So should be a ton of fun. I hope that you'll join me. One more time from Mr. John Sterling, 11 in a row.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
See you guys next time. Special shout out to the Patreon supporters and anyone else who has supported this channel. If you enjoyed this video, give it the old thumbs up and subscribe for more Yankees content year-round. If you really enjoyed it, check out The Frieze. It's the official podcast of this channel. Or pick up some swag from the Teespring store, link in the description. Thanks for watching.